Greetings everyone, namaste, hey, thank you for joining me. And Leo, this is your reading for October 2018 using 7 of the Morgan Greer cards that you see in front of you and an oracle card at the end. But before we get to there, I did some intuitive work for you. And you guys, these are the words that came. I thought they were quite good, groovy actually. Power. Power. And why does that surprise me? Well, it doesn't. Manifestation. Use your gifts and abilities and attract your desires now. Utilize the colors orange, gold, the sacral chakra. Get creative, Leo. And it says the sun and outdoors as well. So really positive messages coming through there. And I felt the power and the energy with that particular intuitive work that I did for you guys. So let's start shuffling for Leo for October 2018 and see what's in store. Okay, the first card is your current situation, the Hierophant. He has been out so much in October. I don't know what he's doing. Is he showing off his new wardrobe? I have no idea, but he's busy. The second card is your obstacles. Wow. And him and her were in a reading together just recently as well. They've come back again. I wonder if any of you have the rising sign or the moon sign that this other reading had these two cards in it as well. So Justice is your obstacles. Number 3 is your aspiration. Number 4 is what needs to be awakened. In fact, a lot of these were very similar, and they're many readings apart, so it's quite intriguing. Number 5 is what lies behind you or a past influence. Number 6 is the next stage in life, and number 7 is what will be or the outcome. So let's have a little look. I move this back just to, oh no, I think you can see all of that. So we have 3 major arcanas all huddled down here in a slightly unique sort of formation. And then you have 2 swords, a pentacle and a wands. So let's start this reading and get into it. There is a fair bit of power in here, and I felt that with the intuitive work that we had with us. So the first one is the Hierophant, and this is the state of things right now. Now basically he is this kind of rule-besotted person. He loves rigidity, he loves conformity, he likes boundaries, he likes people to do things legally and appropriately. He is traditionally known as like a priest or a pope or a churchy or religious type figure of indoctrination. Some of you could be attending events in or around a religious place, such as a church or a worshipping temple or some religious fraternity. Some of you might be engaging in a more religious or spiritual perspective in life as well. The number 2 can sometimes be relevant, as in 2 weeks or 2 months or even 2 days. For some people, it's been 2 hours he activates something happening. So he is telling you to be serious, if you like, which I find a bit of a droll thing in life, but he's saying stick to the boundaries, stick to the rules. So whatever projects or things you've got on your mind or things you're contemplating, do them well and do them right. Don't rush them either. He's not about rushing in life. He's more about checking all the processes and keeping them in order. He likes our communities to be safe, and he likes them to be morally appropriate as well. And I do look at the keys and I think to myself, the keys are kind of like a little bit more freedom. So it's almost like if you do the things that he requires, he'll give you those keys to unlock some doors which will take you to more freedom, to, sort of a more, I guess you could call it a more fun place. But I get the feeling that once you do the basics when he's around and you follow them, you'll be rewarded. And the reward are what's behind the doors that those keys open. So those are my biggest messages for the Hierophant. With the Justice crossing that, I think they're brother and sister, these two. They mooch around the hallways of, academia and courts and legal systems and jails and prisons and churches and stuff like that. So they're kind of like the overseers or the gatekeepers, keeping us all in line. So the Justice card is the Libran card energy, and that is this time of the year. She can also be representative of karmic stuff. So when she comes out, and probably with her brother, they've got more influence, especially the two of them, and having them on top of each other like that, it's almost like they're pulling power from each other. Because these are major arcana cards, sometimes the whole picture is unseen. Sometimes it takes a while for the activation to occur. So this could be occurring over a period of time. It may have already started in the past and be working through and keep going even through to the end of the year. The Justice card, when it turns up for you, usually when it's in an upright position, says it bodes quite well with legal implications. So this can be anything from having to attend a court of law, or for custody battles, or for abuse cases, or for marital divorce, splits or separations, or even businesses being, finished up and separated, for things like wills or inheritances, or forming of trusts and anything along those lines. It usually bodes well. But she's in the obstacles position. So there's a possibility here that there is a slight delay, or there is something holding up a legal process, or that you might have wished for a slightly different outcome, or you might feel it's headed in a way that you don't like. So this might be an opportunity for you to put more work and effort into achieving a status that you are more pleased with. So it could be like a forewarning event here. Do your due diligence, look into things, be proactive, provide as much information as you can, make sure you attend meetings or hearings on time, take along a support person, tape or video record things if you think there might be conversations that are going on that could be used against you, or be, not above board. There could be all of these sort of messages that might be really helpful here. The Justice card also talks about karmic events and cycles. So here's a message that you could take on board. If this is in a slight obstacle position, the Justice card, she often can tell us that there is a karmic deal that is happening and it's about to finish. And in the upright position, this indicates that we have learnt our lesson, right? And that we can say goodbye to this particular karmic thing, and it often associates with people or relationships. Now, if it's in an obstacle position, it could be telling you that you haven't quite learnt the lesson, that there's something else you haven't picked up yet, that you need to fundamentally understand why you're going through this, or what it's all about, or how to kick it aside completely so you don't have to go through it again. So it might be time for some good contemplation, or for digging a little bit deeper, or for seeking some healing around this situation or subject matter, or whatever projects whatever projects are like glitching or not delivering the aspirations that you had hoped at the moment. But if we go up to card number 3, which is your aspiration, and it's card number 3 in position 3, this is a good one, and it does talk to us often about our career opportunities or even finances. It can talk about working in a collaboration with 3 people, and that we could be rewarded one way or another. So sometimes this can be a new project handed to you with a team, or you have finished a project and you receive acclaim or notification or an award or reward. So sometimes this can be an increment in pay. Now, if this is an aspiration, this could be what you guys are seeking. You could be collaboratively wanting to work with a team, or you have put a proposition forward for a project to be accepted, or you've got ideas about changing the structure of something or moving into a higher realm. Even within your workplace, you may have asked for a promotion or a pay rise. So these are all the type of things that this card's energy gives off. If you haven't done any of those things, but you want to, maybe now is the time to get it out there and activate it and get some energy going around more positive opportunities, or you know, finishing a project or getting it handed in or getting it notified or making it public. Having it published is another thing that can happen with this. So if we come down to the fourth card, this is what needs to be awakened. And this is the card of awakening. It's in a really good position. So the Judgment card is almost like an epiphany, probably after some of this stuff here. If you like, these keys may be opening the door to the Judgment, because the Judgment is a realization that something needed to change and that you've got the freedom. This is freedom after these restrictive type energies. So you can see the freedom these people have got. They look a bit concerned about it because they're unsure where they're now headed or how they get there or what they're leaving behind. So a lot of people think the Judgment card is a bit scary. I always look at it as a much more positive omen than that. I also think that you get celestial messages or input because this is coming from the heavens. So sometimes this is angelic support or your spirit guides or cosmic awareness or energy, collective conscious stuff, synchronistic events, things like that. So these all need to be awakened. It's like you're going through a period where you feel a bit restricted, tied down, tied up. You may have had some things, misdemeanors against you, or you've been involved with some, one way or another, and then you start to come through the other side. And yes, judgment, of course, is just an extension of justice in many ways. There may be judgment made about you or made about the way you've acted, or like when you go to court and you get a judgment put on you. So the judge goes, right, well, I believe you've got penance to pay of 3 months social service, or that's $300 fine. So it could even reference something like that. But when the judgment is made, it's the end of all this, right? It's like it's putting it to bed. It's going away. So you're moving into freedom, moving into a new territory, moving into expansion, new concepts, new understanding. So whatever, if there's something in the past that you want to get rid of, and bear in mind too, this can be past health matters like this over here. This is also can be associated with health and hearing in particular. Some of you need to hear something. You need to open up. You need to listen. And others of you might actually have hearing problems that you need to get checked too as well. Let's go into this one, the what lies behind you. Well, I'm pleased she lies behind you because, of course, she's the card of anxiety and worry and depression and feeling locked in, tied up. Wow, you know, we've had so much of this come through, haven't we? What is it that's been around you that's held you down? Because so often, you know, Leos are like, don't stop me, don't hold me back. You've got that wild lion Leo energy that you can almost break out of anything. So for some of you, whatever has been going on in the past, and this could have come about from the eclipses in July and August, or it could even go back further than that. There might have been something that you just went, yeah, I'm just, you know, it's just not, I'm not in the right place, I'm not in the right frame of mind. And it could have been bothersome or tiresome or worrying you. So if you take the time, as we've said here, to do things right, to do them by following protocol and standards and doing things diligently and listening to authority, and then self-checking and self-listening and bringing some healing in, some positive energy, thinking logically and not with the emotions, then you come through it and you see the other side. So if that from the past, if you felt tense or tied up or locked up or nervous, or there was a situation you couldn't get out of or you couldn't see a way out of, I feel it's passing, I feel it's moving by. And if it's not yet for you, you need to go back and do some literal logical thinking and remove the negative emotions. Apply some really positive high vibrational stuff. Ask for celestial help. So let's come to this one, which is what is in the next stage, and this is the 9 of Wands, and he is still kind of looking into all this. So I still feel this is very active, what's going on. The nines tell us that we're coming to a conclusion, we're coming to an end, and we have put a lot of work into it, but we've felt as if we were penned in, hemmed in, locked down, you know, claustrophobic. But he's nearly there, and he hasn't given up, and he's the fire sign energy, which is what you are yourself. So he's about to turn the corner, and what does he get? Freedom, expansion, understanding. All his creative resources break free, and finally people listen to him, or he's heard, or his project is finished, or he makes that step to the next growth point. His creative awareness and abilities are emphasized and awakened. So he's a good card to have there, but he's still telling you it's probably been quite arduous for some of you for a few months, or something's been going on and you've almost given up and you've thought, oh God, when is this going to stop? Well, you're getting there. So keep going. And if this is around career or your creative ideas, or if you've had writer's block or things just haven't gone well, don't give up. That's the whole main message of this card. Your final outcome is the Four of Swords. Wow, after that reading, I think I need a rest. And that's what the Four of Swords is all about. Taking some time out, respite, taking a big breath, like, oh, you know, just calming it down and slowing it down, and feeling the peace coming, and feeling that your body needs to just slow down and rest and recuperate and enjoy relaxation, and outdoors in particular. You know, this card can sometimes be going on a retreat into beautiful bushy places, or you know, forests or glades or evergreens, or around a lakeside, you know, just with yourself sometimes, but more often than not with another person. And sometimes this can be a romantic kind of interlude, like with a getaway with a friend, or a potential partner, or even a casual partner, but it can be quite an intimate getaway. And sometimes this can even insinuate fertility, so conception of a child. I also sometimes think that there is a possibility for head tension when this card turns up, and we've seen it with this one a little bit. So some of you may get something done with your necks, shoulders or heads, or you may get an eye test or an ear test. You may have some physiotherapy or some healing, some light energy. Something like that might be incorporated with this card. But given it's the finish of this reading, and it feels as though it's a very busy, active stuff going on with all these cards in here, it just feels like we slow it down as October comes to an end, or even later in the year, and you catch your breath and you unwind and you relax and you appreciate the value of having some downtime and some relaxation and some enjoyment from that perspective. So just don't over punish yourself, and don't overthink everything. You know, try and accept that we know that change is coming. There could be some things that you need to readdress or look a bit further with, for it to work out in a better manner, I think. So there we are, Leo. Well, let's put these cards away, and we will see what the last card is going to be for you in terms of these, which are Saints and Angels cards. This is for Leo. One more shuffle. Yeah, emotions, Sanctum Fina. So it's really interesting, because this card has been out for someone else as well. I don't know if it's the same reading that the Hierophant and the Justice card were out for, but she's come out as well in the past, and I decided to read the notes for this, and I'll read them again for you guys, just because They can be, you know, insightful and provide a bit of awareness as well. So it says here, the answer to your question involves emotions, which we've talked about at great length, either yours or those of the person you're inquiring about. This is also a message for you to pay closer attention to your emotions. It's safe for you to admit your true feelings to yourself. Saint Dymphema can help you find solutions to any emotional upsets. She's a loving saint who specialises in helping you achieve emotional and mental health. The lantern that she carries helps you better see where you're going and assists you in avoiding obstacles on your path. Allow Saint Dymphema to illuminate your journey. If you notice any unwanted patterns in your behaviour, or if you're about to sabotage yourself, call upon this powerful saint for immediate assistance. This card is also a message for you to trust your feelings, especially as they guide you to make positive changes. Your feelings are the voice of heaven speaking through you, and you have a right to them, even if others disagree with them. You can also release any upsetting emotions to celestial helpers, you know, cosmos energies or God, Saint Dymphema and the angels for healing and guidance. Now, Saint Dymphema was a Celtic girl who fled from her homeland after her widowed father made advances toward her in his bereavement. She and Saint Geronibus travelled to Antwerp, where they founded an oratory. Eventually Dymphema's father found her, and when she rejected his inappropriate affections, he murdered both her and Geronibus. Dymphema's relics and the location of her death are said to heal epilepsy, insanity, nervous conditions and possessions. Today, a mental health facility stands on the place in Geel near Antwerp where Dymphema passed away. She's the patron saint of mental health and mental health workers, and you can call upon her to help you, a loved one, or a client with emotional or mental upsets. So I feel you guys got a stern reading, and even the end card is quite stern. There are really supportive messages for you within your reading. And for any of you out there that are in a place where you're feeling, it just keeps coming up on me, stuck or claustrophobic or tied down, or you can't get out of something, follow through with some of the help that's been and the messages that have come through this reading. Call upon your celestial helpers and know that there is a way forward. And for those of you who don't feel that the reading resonates from that perspective, you might know someone who's feeling a little bit stuck or claustrophobic. So it could be a friend who's in need of some help from your support. So thanks again, guys, for joining me. I love doing the readings for you, and I love it when you leave your comments. Please sub the channel and push the little bell button beside it so that you get the notifications whenever I upload something new. Much love, everyone. Namaste.